Yeah. That's when besides that, I started having problems at work. Like I was actually told that I needed to get clean and go to AA. Otherwise, I was gonna lose my job.
And this was at Rosati's?
Yes.
Yeah.
When
was this?
This was, I want to say it was 2015 or 2016, somewhere around there. But like when they approached me and suggested me to get clean and go to AA, I already knew I had a problem, but I was still kind of in denial, and I got mad at them for pointing it out.
Okay. What were we talking about again? I lose my train of thought.
Yeah, so when I was approached at work with the suggestion to get clean, or otherwise I was gonna lose my job.
Were you manager at that point? Not GM, but
yeah, no, I was already a manager. So I mean, they were not even mad. They looked disappointed. So that, I mean, it kind of hurt.
That's the definition of family, though, right? Like, instead of just firing you and kick you to the street, they're like, listen, we want you to get clean.
Yes.
So that's pretty nice.
And that's actually one thing, I'm always going to be grateful with TJ because, I mean, when he pointed that out and put me in a corner, that's when I was like, okay, I actually have to do something now. So that's the first time I started going to AA. Being Hispanic, I was I thought I was gonna be more comfortable if I went to AA in Spanish, but I didn't click with what the concepts that they presented. So I eventually stopped going.
Did it have anything to do with the language barrier?
No. I mean, like I said, I was going to the meetings in Spanish.
Oh, you were going to the meetings in Spanish. Okay.
Because I thought I was gonna be more comfortable in my first language. But like I said, I didn't. Well, the thing back then, I didn't agree with the concepts that they were talking about. Which AA is founded in Christianity, so I didn't agree with some of the things. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do this. So I stopped. I was like, I'm gonna do it on my own.
Right.
And I was able to stay sober for a whole year, but the whole year it was torture. I was struggling all the time because the mental obsession of drinking was there the whole time.
And you really didn't have anything to like work you through it, right? You didn't have like the mental checklist of, okay, this is a trigger. You go through your thought process. I don't know if they use the same ones. I've been through therapy for like anxiety, and like the triggers are supposed to be like, once you get your trigger, you got your like steps that you have to do to like calm it down, but you didn't have any of that.
No,
you were just fighting through it.
Yeah, and then it was very disappointing because I thought that by me stopping drinking, my life was gonna get fixed, but that didn't happen. It's like almost like it was just I wasn't drinking, but my life was very unmanageable.
And this is 2015, 2016?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like I said, I managed to stay sober for a whole year, but then on New Year's Eve, I went to a party and someone offered me a beer. And I remember telling myself, just tonight. And that night cost me another 3 years of drinking every day.
Mm-hmm.
So, at that point, I was kind of defeated. I was like, you know what? Well, I guess this is how I'm gonna go.
Mhm.
But
When you got to that point, you said you got another 3 years of drinking. What was the thing that was your daughter, obviously, but in that video, and that was that time that you sobered up, and that was the last time you got sober?
No,
No.
no. It's still, even though I've wanted to do it for my daughter, I wanted to do it for many reasons. I couldn't do it. But it wasn't until I became roommates with a kid that was a lot younger than me, and he introduced me to plant medicine.
So not just pot, like actual plant medicine.
Yes.
Okay.
So at first, I guess it was me, the addict, still trying to chase the dragon's tail. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. Like I said, I like to try everything once, so I tried it. And well, at first, I just realized that it made me feel happy. Not only when I had plant medicine, but
What was the plant that you were using?
psilocybin.
Oh, psilocybin. I was really wondering if that's what it was. That's pretty cool.
Back then, I didn't know really what was going on. I was like, oh, I just thought it was another drug. I was like, oh, cool. I like the way it makes me feel.
Sure.
But I started researching and learning about it. And I met some people that kind of guided me through what plant medicine really is. And I had an experience that I feel like that was the turning point for me. That's when the mental obsession for alcohol was gone.
So was that when you were in like a whole trip, so to speak, or were you just microdosing?
No, I took 2 grams of very strong mushrooms.
So you were doing a pretty nice trip then.
Yes.
Okay. But that I've heard from a lot of people that it's very helpful for addiction. I know a guy, and see, I don't have the guts to do it. I had a bad experience when I was in high school with acid, and ever since then I've had this like mental blockage on psychedelics. It scares the hell out of me, but I will microdose mushrooms, mostly for anxiety. But a friend of mine, he was a pack and a half smoker, and he ate 2 grams, like you said, I don't know what kind of mushrooms it was, but he never even had the thought for it again.
Yeah, I believe it.
So that's pretty amazing. And nicotine's obviously much less strong as alcohol is. So what was the experience?
For some reason that morning, and it was the morning of a Thanksgiving. Usually people invite me to their houses, because I don't have a family here.
Right.
But it was that Thanksgiving was, I want to say it was in 2020. Yeah, it was 2020. For some reason, I decided I felt like meditating, so I went to my room, and I put my headphones on, and I started meditating with my with my eyes closed. Well, kind of an my, I would say I had like a vision of me running in a maze. And when I got to the center of the maze, I found myself as a kid, like crying. And I went, approached myself as a kid, and I pet myself in the back, and I said, "I'm okay. I'm here. You're okay. You don't have to worry." And man, I opened my eyes, and I felt this peace and serenity right by my heart that I had never felt in my life. And all my life I felt like I was looking for something, and that morning, I think I found it. And I remember telling myself, I think this is it. This is what I felt like I've been looking for. But
As far as a meaning for things.
no, it was like almost like a void, an internal void got filled.
Ah, okay.
So, I mean, I didn't know what happened. I was like, what was this? So I started making more research and asking people, and they told me that I healed my inner kid.
Your
that
inner
day,
child.
my inner child.
Yeah, okay.
And then I was like, you know what?
So this is more of like a spiritual
Yes.
type of thing. And like,
And that was the
if
first
you can't tell,
time.
I'm definitely very open to all that stuff.
But before that point, I considered myself an atheist. And I remember telling myself that day, I was like, I don't like, there's something else.
Yeah.
So that made me wanna learn more and seek more truth.